need to take that leap of faith, okay? Let me tell you a little story, all right? Recently, I worked a job, right? I had a job at a place. We're not going to get into the details, all right? That's not important. Basically, this place was robbed, and I worked alone at this place during that time when it was robbed, and I was blamed for not like defending the store enough, which we all know. I mean, you're not supposed to do that. Your life is not worth. I've been in customer service for over 10 years, and we all know you're not supposed to defend, like risk your life to defend the savings of the store. But yeah, so my manager decided to um, blame me instead of taking responsibility for the fact that there was not proper security in place to like prevent any kind of theft. So, yeah, and what did I do about that? I just didn't show up to work the next day. That's what I did. I said, "All right, cool, bye then. Goodbye." And yeah, and the other thing about that is I just moved to a big city and I like need money and I like need to have a job and like to keep living here. Um, but I left my job and and then I just, that might scare some people and you might think, "Oh man, your life just probably fell apart after that." But actually no, that was when everything got really good. That was when my life got really good and went from being really mundane and boring and horrible to like really great. Because at the same time, this girl who I really liked, who might be watching, who who I worked with, we couldn't really be together when you're like working with someone. It's not. But because I left, then we started, seeing each other more. And she is an incredible light in my life. And so there's one great thing that happened. And then I got kicked out of the place I lived at the same time. Well, I like got, well, I get fired, but I left my job. So I'm like, don't have a job. Then my landlord gets mad at me for not washing a dish, even though I've never used the kitchen. And I didn't even cook. He brought me this food, and I didn't have time to eat or clean. I ate the food and like left the dish in the thing for like an hour, like soaking, just to clean, like get the cranberry sauce off. And I get a text saying like, "Yo, start washing your dishes or find a new place to live." So I'm getting, I have no job. I'm getting kicked out of the place I live. Um, and yeah, it might seem like, oh no, things are going downhill here, but my best friend, who still lives in the city that I'm from, buys tickets to the World Cup, which is happening here, and or was happening here, um, and the game that he bought tickets to, and so I'm like, why don't you just move here, and we'll find a place together. And so that's exactly what happened. We found a place together. And because he had money and I didn't have a job, we were able to, work out a deal with the landlords to allow to. Normally, like getting a place if you don't have a job is like impossible because they know they're not going to get, or they think they're not going to get their money. So, yeah. So now I like live with my best friend and have a great girlfriend, and I'm not working this like horrible job anymore. And yeah, so that's the kind of thing that most people would say is like a really irresponsible decision, that you like should not do that. You should not just leave your job. But dude, when you get angry and you start standing up for yourself and you like actually express your emotions like that, people tend to like the world tends to like help and respond to that. But like if no one knows what you're going through and you're just like internalizing that all the time and just like taking that and you're not getting mad and you're just accepting it, no one knows that you like have a problem. So like if you are the kind of person like me who cannot work most jobs and like is coming home every day like fucking this, like I can't be around people who I don't like or can't like, it really fucks with me and ruins my life having to be around these idiots all the time. I can't do it anymore. I'm like not gonna do that to myself for my mental health. I'm like not gonna work some job where you're just thrown in with random people and just doing random tasks, and like I just can't do that anymore. It's like so weird for me. Um, and yeah, I'm a musician, so I should really lean into that. And hey, maybe I'll start doing YouTube if you guys like this shit. Anyways, the moral of the story is that you need to take that leap of faith, y'all, because that was a stupid, like objectively, like most people would say, that's a stupid thing to do. You shouldn't like leave your job just like that. Like I did like job abandonment. I didn't even give like a 2 week thing. I just said, fuck you, I'm out. Like, you're gonna blame me for robbery? And like, I didn't quite get into the details, but this motherfucker like went full corporate robot on me, and then came in after and was like, oh, it's, I'm gonna do everything I can. I just, I can't deal with AI generated human beings like that. So I just fucking left, and my life just improved like it so much in every way since like I'm 10 times happier. And you could say I got lucky, but I mean, it's kind of what always happens when people like actually just like get fed up and just like put their foot down. Like it's really all you have to do. I mean, it is like a synchronizing of a lot of things where like, I did have a long time of doing lots of work in my life, and I don't think that you know, being like, I'm fed up right off the bat is like the proper way. Like, so if you're really young, it's like maybe you do need to kind of keep grinding a little bit, but like at a certain point, I'm 27 years old now, so I'm getting to 30, at a certain point, you kind of have to put your foot down and say, like, I'm not going to do these things forever. All right. That was fine to work some shitty job when I was, a teenager and like didn't have any experience or skills and like couldn't do anything else. But it's like, I've been playing drums and guitar guitar since I was like a child, since I was like 9 years old, and drums, for the last 7 years now. So, I need to find a way to make that my life, and I just don't care to do anything else because you can die literally at any time, and so why am I putting off? I mean, just even if that wasn't the case, like, why are you putting off your life? Like, where did this idea come from that you can just kind of like chill and like keep putting things off and like get around to it at some point? At a certain point, you kind of have to do it and be like, okay, well, like, I'm not living the life I want to live, so something has to change. And if I'm not willing to, leave a job like that, and I'm just gonna stay there, the fear of what'll happen if I do leave it, then it'll never change. It'll never, you have to destroy your old self to make space for your new self. Oh, I made that up. I made that quote up right now. That was not stolen. But yeah, and I had nothing to be afraid of. I had nothing to be afraid of, and I should have just. Well, not that I should have. Everything happened when it was supposed to, but. Um, so I'm trying to tell you, to the people out there who are also afraid and who are, wanting to do something like take that next step, like quit their job or get a new job or move to a new city or ask somebody out or, no matter what it is, you should do it. You should do it. Don't be afraid. Because, like, what else is there? Like, what's the alternative? Just die. The alternative is die and never do it. Like, there's actually nothing to lose because you're gonna die anyways. You either die and when you die, you're like, oh, cool, like I did like a lot of cool stuff, or you're like, whoa, I did nothing and I just lived in fear. And why was I afraid of an inevitability? Death, it's like people live their lives for safety, and there's no such thing as safety. You're gonna die. you're gonna die. So you may as well do the things that you want to do while you're here, while you can. And you just can't put that off. It can't be this like philosophical realization. Like you have to actively destroy those parts of your life and start making space for a life that you actually want to live. Yeah. So take leap of faith.